Hey everyone, it's MGTOW Dad, or you can call me Stevo. Hope everything is going well with you and you're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. I'm trying to do laundry without blowing out my back, but also trying to do it so I have enough time to go out for a walk soon. Weather's starting to get nice. The MGTOW community fascinates me because it is extremely broad, and I'm not someone who assumes any group is is universal or um, completely homogenous. Marines, for example, I'm a 100% disabled Marine Corps veteran. I loved the Marine Corps. I loved my Marines, and I believe most Marines are good people. I believe most people join the Marine Corps to serve good purposes and do so honorably. But I also know that the Marine down in the SRB section below where I used to work over the weekend, after, completely normal work week, come in Monday, find out he stabbed some dude to death at a party over some girl that he had never met until that night. So I'm not foolish enough to believe that all people are the same in a group. MGTOW is no different. So I'm fascinated how ignorantly and almost obediently the media throws out the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard nonsense as if we should care about it and as if it has any impact. And then I guess Johnny Depp won because I don't pay much attention to it. And all these people, not only MGTOW, left and right, are saying it's affected what it means for black people, what it means for men. MGTOW are talking about how this is the best moment. This people are talking about how it changes things for Rittenhouse, and life is no different than before the trial started for anybody. And you're kind of foolish to think so. If please, if I'm wrong, elaborate to me down below in the comment section how great your life has, swung, how fortuitous things have become in light of this dynamic decision. I'll wait. This is rich people arguing over who's the bigger idiot. It's a race to the bottom and they're clawing and pulling. No, I am. No, it's insane to me. MGTOW, who are supposed to look towards positive masculine role models, are looking at some drug-induced beta simp who lowers himself to be with some abusive uh, misandrist. I don't know. And I'm supposed to feel bad for him? He had the means, the money, the resources, the publicity, the lawyers, the contacts in media to have left that situation long ago. He probably didn't want to until he didn't even realize how things were probably getting until he started missing fingers. And that's something other people then start to see. He was willing to take all of those invisible beatings, you bear those invisible scars, and for what? Someone who hates you the entire time you're trying to look out for them? No, I don't feel bad for him. Furthermore, he has such a massive social network that one of two things happened. He removed people who would tell him that she's bad, or they told him that and he just didn't listen, because I can't imagine that there is no one willing to say these things to him, but people don't want to hear those things very often when they're in those relationships. I often mention how no matter what, I alluded to this in my bridge video, no matter what, the moment is always the most secure. This may be the last beating. This may be the light, they'll lighten up after this one. They'll get it out of their system. Afterward, I'll take this one and I'll be able to blah, blah, blah. It's always something else. I was then, again, stop caring about what actors are telling you. These people are paid liars and pretenders, at best a pretender. So they're paid to basically practice, practice, practice into pretending so well that you believe when they're sad or angry and you can relate to them when they're talking about situations in outer space in the year 30,077 B, after Emperor. These are, it blows me away. We're listening to these people, these paid liars, telling us to give up our guns. So I have Matthew McConaughey, a rich guy who's going to have his guns, and if not, he's going to get paid security, telling me to give up my guns so that if I'm doing laundry on the floor like I'm going to be, and my kids are doing something, and someone starts kicking in the door because they're high on PCP, and they're coming in and they're going to bludgeon my kids, I should call other people with guns to come and stop this guy. Hide, kids. Matthew McConaughey really convinced me by getting into tears about what... again, the disconnect with people, and my ignorance is that I believe it's the elites, rich people who are extremely disconnected. But I was listening to Matthew McConaughey talk about kids in Texas who were blah blah and they were surprised that their kid knew what heaven was and how heaven worked. And I'm like, I'm only around my kids by legal mandate 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and I know what's going on in my kid's life. You don't think your kid knows about God? And now I'm not saying believes it, not hook, line, and sinker. They're not, religious Catholics, devout, whatever. But you think they don't hear about that? You think your 5 and 6 year olds don't ever wonder what happens when a cat dies, or when they see a dead bird and then they hear that someone's not here because their grandparent died and they're at a funeral, and they come back and talk? You don't think they don't ever... Yes, in my head, I think it's so absurd. And I talk about we view the world through the lens of our own biases. I think it's so absurd that no parent would not think their kid knows about death or anything like that. And what I'm getting at is they're so disconnected. If my kids were shot in a school, if my kids were run down by a car or killed by a vaccination, what I would never do is say, you now need to stop your kids from driving, owning a gun, or ever getting vaccinated because of what happened to me. You need to now do something different, and we're going to mandate it and make it illegal to you not to do what I think we should do because of what happened to my family. The biggest thing I deal with as a father are these moments right now. I can protect my kids when I'm within bullets range of them. I'm going to be, if something happens right now, I'm going to be there after the police, who are going to be there after the incident already happens anyway. And I hate that. So what do I want? A teacher who's not going to hide behind a door. I want a teacher who's going to be able to be armed and protect competently my kid in the event of something like that. Not only a shooting. It fascinates me how it only occurred to people that their kids could have something like this happen. They're so immersed in social media, likes, shares, retweets, twits this, twits that, re-comment, re-share, re-this, upload that. We don't get involved in the actual world around us. Then we're shocked when we realize, well, I've had my face buried in all this stuff. No idea my kid knew about God. No idea my kids could be in danger. No idea I should maybe think about protecting my kids. I don't know how many of you had a conversation with your principals or teachers about emergency responses. I have. Because if I said, hey, what would you do if there was an active shooting? They're like, call the police. I'd go to the next school board meeting, and I mean, I don't even know if I would leave that without immediate, but my point was, I got the answer that was sufficient. And people are shocked about that. It just fascinates me. What are people doing? Watching Johnny Depp. That's what they're doing. Caring about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp as if it changed anything fundamentally for anybody. We fed lawyers, we paid TV networks, and spoiler alert, while you were watching and caring about two rich people who will never know you exist, a bunch of stuff was probably happening in the real world all around you and you missed it. But at least Johnny Depp saved you. Go easy.